What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, a rather intriguing fight has been announced between Josh Taylor and Viktor Postol. This fight will go down on the 23rd of June in Glasgow, Scotland, and it is going to be a final eliminator for the WBC Super Lightweight World title, which is held by Jose Ramirez right now. And incidentally, I'm not sure how this is going to work because there's also a WBC interim super lightweight champion, and that is Regis Prograis. So I'm presuming Prograis is going to get the shot first, and then the winner of this fight then fights the winner of Prograis versus Ramirez. I'm assuming that's how it's going to work. But WBC politics aside, Postol versus Taylor, really good fight. A fight I'm thoroughly looking forward to. Josh Taylor on the way up, to me, has been matched extremely well by Cyclone and Barry McGuigan. I think he's been matched really, really well. In only his 7th fight, he fought Dave Ryan, who is a very tough domestic level fighter. That was a really good step up at the time for his 7th fight. The fight after that, he then fights in America against a tough Hispanic fighter by the name of Alfonso Oliveira. That was actually a tough fight for Josh Taylor, and he learnt a lot in that fight. That was the only time Josh Taylor's been the distance in his 12 fights, and that fight was also abroad in America. You know, that gave Josh Taylor a lot of things to work on, and you know, in my mind, it done him the world of good, that fight in America against Oliveira. He then has a big domestic level fight against O'Hara Davis. And this was Josh Taylor's first real high pressure fight. You know, there's a lot of eyes on that fight. There was a lot of interest in that fight. And going into it, a lot of people were picking Josh Taylor to lose that fight to O'Hara Davis. But again, Josh Taylor done the business. He put out a great performance, stopping O'Hara Davis. And from then on, he then fought Miguel Vasquez. Again, a veteran of the sport. A guy who's very good defensively, a guy who's awkward, a guy who is almost a bit negative actually, and again Josh Taylor became the first man to stop him. So I feel on the way up, Josh Taylor has had a lot of good learning fights. He's been matched well, you know, gradual raises in competition each time, and yeah, he's had the right learning fights at the right time. I feel on the come up, he's learnt a lot. And obviously that is the main thing when you're managing prospects. You need to get them the right fights at the right time. And I honestly feel Cyclone have done a great job with Josh Taylor. And this is a really, really big step up. The biggest test of his career so far, for my money. Viktor Postol was a former WBC super lightweight champion. He's beaten the likes of Lucas Matisse, Selçuk Aydin, Hank Lundy, DeMarcus Corley. He's got a few names on the resume. He's experienced. He's had 30 fights, whereas Josh Taylor has only had 12. Viktor Postol is very tall for a super lightweight. I believe he's 5'11", with a 73.5-inch reach. He's tall, he's long. You know, he's got an awkward style. He can box well on the outside. He has solid fundamentals. He's a good fighter. He's well schooled. He's got pedigree, like I said, former world champion with a bag full of experience. The only guy to beat him was Terence Crawford, who's obviously a great fighter. So this is a massive step up for Josh Taylor, and I do feel Postol has the ability to give Taylor some tough rounds, mainly due to the long-range boxing, his fundamentals, his jab, and his outside game more than anything. Postol's actually good on the inside. He can throw on the inside. He's astute on the inside, but that's where he needs to avoid the inside and the mid-range in this fight, because I feel on the inside and at mid-range, Josh Taylor is going to have his way with him. Postol's a tall guy for the weight, like I said. There's a lot of body to aim for. To me, Josh Taylor is lethal to the body on the inside and at mid-range. He changes levels really, really well. You know, he creates those angles, hooks to the body, uppercuts to the body, lefts and rights, really, really creative. And Postol needs to keep this on the outside. He needs to kind of frustrate Josh Taylor early on, try and make it a little bit negative and steal the rounds early, and then go from there. But I feel that could happen early on, but I just feel that eventually Josh Taylor, his will, his hunger, will eventually get to Viktor Postol. I think Postol, he's a good boxer, he's solid, but does he have the power to keep Josh Taylor off of him? That's the question. Josh Taylor so far, it looks like he's got quite a sturdy chin. I know a lot of people don't like Ohara Davies, but one thing Ohara Davies does have is decent power. And Josh Taylor was caught quite a few times and he dealt with it really well. So I've got no issues with Josh Taylor's chin. I don't think Viktor Postol has the power to keep Josh Taylor off of him. I feel although that Viktor Postol could give Taylor issues early on, you know, with his long range boxing, with his jab, with his feet, because he'll be fresh. I just feel, I feel the longer the fight goes, Josh Taylor's slowly going to claw his way back into it. He's going to slowly break down Viktor Postol to the body. He's going to apply steady pressure and he's going to chop that tree down. You know, Taylor does cut off the ring quite well. He's, like I said earlier, excellent to the body, excellent on the inside, creative, changes levels. You know, he's a really good inside fighter. And I keep on going back to that with Josh Taylor, but it's something that's so rare with British fighters. Being a good body puncher, being good on the inside. It's actually a rarity over here. So when you see that as a British fight fan, it's a nice change. You know, he's really good on the inside. Not only that, he can box from the outside. He's got a good jab. He's got relatively quick hands. He has counter-punch ability. We saw it in the Ohara Davies fight when he dropped Ohara the second time. Lovely counter-check left hook. You know, the guy has a lot of talent. The guy has a lot of skills. He's a steady fighter. Defensively, he doesn't do anything special, but he keeps his guard well. He takes the sting-off shots. You know, he doesn't really get hit flush that often. I feel Josh Taylor is a really, really astute fighter. You know, really, really well-rounded. He reminds me of Errol Spence in a lot of ways. The way he throws his punches, the way he works the body, his solid jab, his patience, his poker face. To me, he reminds me a lot of Spence. And to boot, obviously Josh Taylor also comes out of a southpaw stance. So, really good fight. I feel that he could struggle early on due to the range of Postol and due to the awkwardness. But when he gets his timing down, when he starts to apply that pressure, I feel he's going to get to Postol. And whether he stops Postol late or whether he grinds out a decision, I don't know. But I do make Josh Taylor a favourite here. Nevertheless, I think it's a dangerous fight. I feel Postol is a very good fighter. He's a very good boxer. Great on the outside. Good jab. Good right hand. You know, big for the weight. Long. Good fighter. Really good fight for Josh Taylor. Looking forward to it. And to boot, the best thing is that this fight is on Channel 5. And in the UK, that is basically free TV. So I'm not complaining. This fight is actually on the same day as Billy Joe Saunders versus Martin Murray. I know what fight I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch this fight. This fight is a really good fight. What do you guys think of this fight? Do you think it's too soon for Josh Taylor? Can Viktor Postol pull off the upset? I'll actually be quite interested to see the odds on this fight. You know, really looking forward to it. I think this is a really, really good fight. I think this is a good eliminator, and the winner is a worthy world title challenger in my eyes. What do you guys think of this? Peace.